Okay, the recording has started, and this is the April 21st, 2020 Rook Community Meeting. We will start, as always, with our milestone checkup. I don't think we have anything planned for 1.2 since we have 1.3 out, and we'll be doing some patch releases on 1.3 to continue addressing issues that come up and driving the quality and stability in that one. So let's go ahead and look real quick at the project board for 1.3 and see what some of the important issues are there, what the status of that is. Travis, do you want to go ahead and give us an update on 1.3.2?
Yeah, I missed triaging the board before the meeting, but we've definitely had a few fixes backported to the 1.3 branch since the .1 release. And I'm thinking later this week would be good to get a release out just to pick everything up.
Do you want to mention any of the important issues there that may be at the top of the done column here?
Or? I don't know. I don't know that they're in any order, and maybe some of them are already in the release. I never trust the order of the done column, at least.
Fair enough.
And GitHub is not letting me refresh locally to try and.
Yeah, my in progress column is still spinning here too, so GitHub could be having some service issues.
Yeah, it's some issues as well. Opening some issues. I got like 500 errors and so on. So
yeah,
probably something in the bushes right now.
Right, well, Zoom is a little slow. GitHub's a little slow. I start worrying about the internet at large.
How are we expected to work on this condition?
You are not expected to work.
Better take the day off, Alexander.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. The one issue I see in blocking release there, pod anti-affinity. Oh, I think that wouldn't block the release. So just to be clear, any issue that's tagged for 1.3 will currently be put automatically in the blocking release column, and then just kind of as a default, and then it can be moved over if it's not blocking the next patch release. So I don't think that one would block the patch release at all. It's just nice to have for 1.3.
Is it in progress at all, Travis, that you know of, or should it just be moved to the top of to do?
Just to do.
Okay, yeah. I'll see if GitHub lets me do that.
Madhu might work on it soon, but I think it might take him a few days to get there.
Okay. All right, so pending GitHub outage resolution, right. We'll try to get a 1.3.2 release out later this week then.
Thursday is the target in my mind. Maybe I should put that, or if you want to write that there.
Okay.
We're targeted for Thursday.
Which is the 23rd, I believe.
Sounds right.
Okay, sounds good. Any other comments on 1.3 or upcoming releases and milestones?
I think that's good for me.
All right. Okay, let's move then on ahead to the community topics section. So first, a quick update on graduation. We confirmed with the Technical Oversight Committee that we do indeed have to author a due diligence document. That was a new requirement for the incubation stage that was not there when we were accepted into incubation back in 2018. But the Technical Oversight Committee has confirmed that all projects do need to do this retroactively for graduation if they did not have to do it in incubation. So that's a road bump in the road, an obstacle that we need to address. So that's going to be a bit of legwork to do that, but they have a template for it, and we need to drive that process. And the storage SIG can give us some support with that if they need to, but I don't know how productive that'll be, since a lot of it is answering the questions with from a expertise and domain knowledge of the project, which is us. So we'll have to put the legwork in to accomplish this, unfortunately.
How big of a work item do you feel like it is? Amy seemed to make it sound like it wouldn't be terrible because of other stuff we've done.
I think I've seen quite a range in length of due diligence documents from various projects. Amy pointed us at Helm as being a good recent example, and I think theirs was like 6 pages or so. There apparently is a lot of duplicate or repetitive questions within the template. So if you address a topic in general and then the question comes up again, you don't have to re-answer it or reformulate it or anything like that. So I expect, like a 5 or 6 page, set of answers to all the questions there. So we can drive that. Okay, and then Google Summer of Code, we received, we had one project out for on the docket for students to submit proposals for updating the NFS operator and converting it to controller runtime and adding a lot of new features and functionality and quality, addressable quality issues there related to performance and stability and things like that. So we got 3 proposals from students on the NFS operator there. And Rohan, Ashish, and I all reviewed all of them and conferred together, and we all came to the exact same conclusion on one of those proposals being the strongest of the bunch. So we officially selected that one as our choice for the one that we want to mentor and take on for Google Summer of Code this summer here. So the next step is the admins. I think today, April 21st, today, the admins of the program will be confirming the slot assignments to make sure to see if we officially get a slot in the program this summer. But they normally give each CNCF project 1 slot. So we all agreed upon which one we would like to take on, and I assume it's likely that we'll be able to take on another GSOC student this summer. So that'll be fun, and it's awesome that Ashish and Rohan are going to be mentors, likely going to be mentors this summer.
So one note is that Ashish is leaving Red Hat at least, and I'm not sure of his availability to be a mentor going forward. Hopefully he can. I think we're still interested, but just as a note,
yeah,
challenged.
Yep, that is a good note, and we can confirm with him on if he will still have the availability to be a mentor this summer. Right. And if not, we still have Rohan and me to mentor as well.
Yep.
Cool. The question for a cockroach operator. Oh,
Just put a link there to Slack. I put a question in the cockroach channel a few days ago, and just thought I'd bring it up here. So a few weeks ago, I watched a little presentation from Cockroach guys on how to sort of getting started with Cockroach and deploying it and stuff. And their perspective on deploying Cockroach is that, and they said 12 minutes into the presentation that basically we use Helm charts, we don't need operators, et cetera, et cetera. So I guess the question I bring up here is, if we think that the cockroach operator is important, how can we push them to get involved or convince them of it? And the goal being to get the cockroach operator out of alpha state, right? It's been there for a while. Well, like a few other operators we have, but that one, since I heard them talk about it like that, I was curious to get more perspective on how we can push for it. So Jared, I know you've been more involved there and talk to the cockroach guys more. More insight there? Or?
Yeah, so my take on this is that when we were talking to the cockroach folks in the end of the year 2019 last year, one of the important things for them is that yes, that they have a lot of confidence in the cockroach application layer itself around its self-healing and self-management and scalability, et cetera, that it has built into the application layer logic itself, which kind of removes some needs for operator logic, perhaps. But they were interested in continuing the effort on the Rook's cockroach operator. Their stumbling block the effort was still based on the old Rook operator kit and not using controller runtime. so it was interesting. I think maybe it was like a week or two ago. There was a community. I think it was a community effort. I'm not sure who the contributor was that opened a PR to convert the cockroach operator to a controller runtime based implementation. But that's a PR out there that would be nice to actually get in and have that, the cockroach operator be completely controller runtime based, and then re-engage with cockroach to see if that's something that they're more interested in contributing to and participating in and taking ownership of, because it now is controller runtime based and their biggest impediment has been addressed. So that might be an interesting way to continue driving that.
Sure, yeah, that could be interesting. I mean, we haven't used our own operator kit for a while, but yeah, it just wasn't updated to controller runtime until that year. Okay. Yeah, I know we talked to them like last June or something to start getting them involved more, but then they just haven't heard from them since, hardly. At least I haven't.
Yeah, I'll try to take a look at that PR to update it to the controller runtime, and if we can get that merged in there, might be a very nice opportunity to continue that conversation again. Cool. Okay, good question. All right, so then we have a couple PRs here for things to discuss. Let me see if these load.
Yeah, I put all those in there too.
Yeah, but the first one is about the admission controller, and
yeah, just
do you want to start talking about it while it's loading?
Yeah, hopefully it loads. I just put these here as kind of FYI. I don't know if there's any huge design discussion we need to have or concern about them, but the first one is admission controller. So this is basically when you're creating the CRs, some upfront validation before the CR is actually committed. So we can reject if the settings are bad. The admission controller does require a lot of extra kind of, what's the right word? Extra things to get it configured. So it seems like a pain to deploy because you need a certificate. It's got a a web API that the requests come through to validate, etc. But it is a really nice thing, I think, to be able to validate the settings for those who will be able to do those extra steps to set up the admission controller. Tomorrow in the Ceph huddle, we'll probably have a demo on this if somebody wants to join that huddle and check it out. And it's not loading, is it?
No, it's got a 500 error, so that's GitHub is down. Yeah, that's. Right. Is there any? One of the things that I had noticed about admission controllers is that I was hoping that there was more support in like upstream frameworks like the controller runtime or operator framework or whatever to make that the process easier of getting a admission controller with its web API and certificates and everything into the cluster. Is that like a lot of work we would have to do ourselves, or is that something that we can reuse from the common frameworks upstream?
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like there's much support in Kubernetes itself to make it easy to bring it up. Like you have to get your own certificate and things. So for the default or just to get going, sure, use a self-signed cert to install it if you want. And it won't be something we can install or configure by default. It'll be this kind of additional step. Oh, you want this to validate your CRs, follow these steps.
Right, it wouldn't be like in the quick start of like just getting a cluster bootstrapped.
Right, yeah, I don't think it'd be a quick start. It's kind of unfortunate that way because it'd be a lot more useful if it would just work by default.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those things that's a great idea to support better experiences, but it is difficult to get going with, much like CRD versioning and migrations and stuff. You have to write a webhook for that as well to do conversions. So it's the same problem as an admission controller, essentially.
Right. So
So, okay,
That's
fair
it for
enough.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. And then
Next one.
next two.
Yeah, Helm chart support. Yeah, just, I don't see him in this meeting, but having an upstream discussion on that issue about how we support multiple clusters from, basically using a Helm chart, because it's a real pain with the Ceph operator release to go create all the RBAC in a different namespace to run your cluster in another namespace from the operator. So it's an interesting idea anyway to use a Helm chart to be able to create the RBAC for you and iterate over that. So yeah, I don't know that I have a question for the group so much as it's an interesting thought to use the Helm chart to support this a little easier.
Mhm.
Today it's just a nightmare if somebody wants to go do it.
What refresh my memory on what version of Helm does the Ceph operator Helm chart have a dependency on? Does it support Helm 2 and Helm 3?
It's still on 2 something.
Okay.
Someone was looking at 3.0 support as well, or was there? Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay.
We could really use someone from the community to kind of take ownership of making sure we have a good Helm solution. So, well, the guy on this PR is getting involved with that at least.
This PR here?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yep, it looks good. I'm glad to see this involvement from the community here.
The nice Git. Is that an octopus?
Yeah, it's their little, what's it called? It has a name. I forgot it. Octocat, that's the name.
Octocat. Goes well with Ceph, I guess.
As you're saying Octocat, Jared, could you look to the left? I think it is for you.
Oh, this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's causing the outage. Okay, and then the last one here, Travis?
Last one. Yep, just FYI, so Ceph CSI kind of changed their CI around to use Travis, not me. But yeah.
I think of you every time I see Travis CI.
Right. And apparently they're having issues building ARM. So there is a 2.1.0 CSI release out, but until there's an ARM release, I'd like to, I don't think we can make it the default for the Rook Ceph operator to install. Anyway, so waiting for the ARM issue to be resolved to make it the default again in Rook.
Cool.
And yeah, that's about it.
That sounds good then. Okay. And then as a follow-up from action items, last time we did get the new mailing lists set up for info and security. I haven't checked on them to like managing them to add more folks and whatnot. But Travis, you were already on it, right?
Yep, I got it. Thanks.
Sweet.
Yeah, we should probably have all the maintainers on it.
Yeah. So we'll follow up on staffing that then. New mailing list created. Follow up on.
Did anybody else get the invite, or is just getting set up?
I think Amy, like, because the CNCF created them for us, I think Amy just put the current maintainer team on it. Is what she did.
Mm-hmm. Meaning our old maintainer list or our new maintainer list?
Amy, she didn't say explicitly, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
We'll see. I'll have to see. It's like the need for a self-service UI was expressed, so I believe that we should have that.
I see.
Yeah, but then we will deprecate the old ones and remove their DNS entries and stuff as well, and probably remove them from any of our like website or README and stuff too, so that they are not used anymore. So we will follow up on all of that then as well. I'll make sure that's on my list over here. Yeah, yep, it's on my list. Okay, cool. Then that was the end of the items we had on the agenda document. Were there any other topics that folks wanted to bring up in this this meeting here.
Sebastian, would it be worth just talking about briefly how we're doing with the controller runtime conversion or lessons to learn for converting other operators? I don't know, or maybe we should just take that offline. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't have anything in particular right now, but for sure it's somehow challenging, of course. A lot of things are changing as of like how things should be done. Yeah, perhaps I can prepare something for next time or the one after. Like, for sure, it would be nice to do some kind of a retrospective once I'm done with the Ceph cluster CR, which might be around 2 to 3 weeks, I'm hoping. So by then, maybe I can, during this time, do a little retrospective on how it went. And yeah, I guess, yeah.
That sounds good. And all of the Ceph operators controllers are converted now, except for that last one, right?
Yeah, there's also the client one.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah, which I got lazy to do, but yeah. Otherwise, the last biggest remaining one is the Ceph cluster, and I guess I have to check, but the lib for the lib provisioner.
Oh, for bucket provisioning.
Yeah, for the bucket provisioning, I haven't looked at the library, but it seems that they use the add a bit fashion. So maybe it's not like controller runtime ready. I think they use a different mechanism. I must double check, but
I think they're making, the original creators of it, Jeff and John, they're making a lot of updates to it as well to kind of get the SIG storage to take ownership of it, or that's not the right word, but anyway, they're getting community
faction
kind of buy-in for the approach. And so I think they're making updates. So I guess we should check with them on what controller runtime they're on. I thought they were already using controller runtime, but no.
Okay. Yeah, I've spotted a couple of bugs on it too. Like, but yeah, I think we're gonna touch base with them soon too. So.
Yep. Sounds good.
Yep.
All right, cool. Thanks, Seb. All right, any other topics? If not, then we can go ahead and adjourn for this week.
All right.
All righty. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks all. See ya.
Thanks.